we are live, guys. Welcome to another live stream from Men of High Value channel. My name is Joseph, darling. What I want to do today is to explain MGTOW. What is that? It stands for Men Going Their Own Way. It's basically what has happened is that over time, over the last 50 years, you can say, is that women have increasingly started to do things their own way. Feminism has become bigger and bigger and bigger, and women have become more masculine. And why is that a problem? Well, it basically means that they want to take over the world. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's very imbalanced because what their experience is that for centuries they've been second-rate citizens, and men have basically been the masters, and women have had to do what men wanted to do, and women have suffered because of it. And so now what they're doing is they're coming forth and saying, now we want the power, or at least we want to be equal with men. Now that's fantastic. But what ends up happening, and what is happening right now, is that women take it to the extreme, and they have now become so burdened with kids, with work, with other women being difficult in their lives, with past sexual history that's hanging over them. There's a lot of things that women are going through these days, and because of that, they're difficult. And they're very emotional, and we know that from before. But what has also happened is that men, on the other hand, because women are masculine, but also because men are not being allowed to be kids when they're growing up, they're having to grow up too fast, they end up remaining in their feminine state. So you've got this imbalance where men are feminine and women are masculine. And what has happened is that men, or at least some men, there's like a niche, maybe 5% of men, I don't know the percentages, but a few men are basically telling themselves, that's enough. I don't really, my life will be happier if I simply cut out women from my life completely. I'm not going to date them. I'm not going to be distracted by them. I'm just going to do my own thing. I'm straight. I'm not gay. But I'm just going to work hard. I'm going to work on my personality. I'm going to work on my health. I'm going to work on my finances. And I'm just going to enjoy myself without putting pressure on me to date and to impress women and to become romantically involved. I'm just not interested because of all the baggage all the women that I've dated has had. Now, that is what's going on with a large majority, or several guys, okay, are experiencing this. And to be honest with you, I actually admire, some sense, the MGTOW movement, because they're basically prioritizing themselves for a period of time until they're ready to participate in the dating market again. And for me, that sounds like a good idea, because a lot of guys, their lives are a mess, and they're not leaders, they don't have money, they are stuck at work and doing some things that they don't like to do very often, and their life is just simply a mess. Now, as a woman, why would you want to participate in that life anyway, right? So that is the MGTOW movement explained. Now, of course, there's a lot more to it, but in general, I admire the MGTOW movement for taking a stance and preparing themselves for maybe in the future to become romantically involved with some women. The thing is that this is what I would recommend to men. Okay, men who grow up and they're basically slobbering over girls during high school and they can't get any, and then they become, in their 20s, and suddenly women are all over place and they're interested in them for the first time, and then they go throughout their 20s and they basically have some relationships and then they have some not relationships. They experience how different women are, and I would recommend that you spend your teens and your 20s completely different. It's a waste of time to just go through your teens and 20s and party and have sex with tons of girls and all that stuff. It's really a waste of time, because isn't it all about joy? I mean, yes, you can have all these parties and everything happening during that time, but really, what we want at the bottom of our hearts is happiness. We want to be happy and we want to have joy, but no one has taught us what joy truly is. Now, do you find joy in marriage? Not necessarily, but you won't find it in shallow relationships with women and other guys either. So where should you start? I would start as early as possible to implement the correct habits of the successful early, and make that your priority. Make your financial outcome your priority, okay? Instead of prioritizing school, instead of prioritizing girls, instead of prioritizing your own parents or brothers and sisters, okay? Forget all about that. Think about your future. Who are you going to be, okay? Make the beginning part of your life an MGTOW movement. Men going their own way for a specific period of time to set your life up for success. Because once you've spent those years from, let's say, 12 years old until maybe 18 or 20 or 22, and you set yourself up for success and become a multimillionaire during the first 10 years from 12 to 22 as an example. As a 22-year-old, you can get the best of the best honeys simply from the fact that you have prepared yourself. You've worked on your confidence. You've worked on your ability to provide, to protect, to do everything that is needed, and that women love. Now the whole world is yours. But what most men do, or young guys, is that they chase women during that period of time. And it's a waste of time. Also, going to school, waste of time. Going to parties, you will have parties for the rest of your life. And yeah, of course, you can enjoy time a little bit, but to become romantically involved during that period of time, not recommended. It's going to be a waste of time. It's just get started with your life, set yourself up, be MGTOW for a while, and then once you're ready, once you're financially ready, which we'll probably go into in a later video, when should you actually involve women into your life, that's when you start it. And if you set it up right, using the high value system, which we're going to go through and which we do go through in personal coaching, you can set up your life for fullness of joy and happiness forevermore. And I'm serious about that. This is the Men of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling. I'll see you again tomorrow.